Hi, Nystrom. Hi. Ooh, okay, let's see. I want it to be a little further down. Okay, while I set this up, hello everyone. I miss you all very, very much. Hello, room 209. Okay, there. So, as I've been sitting at home, I've been looking for things to do, and today I decided I'm gonna do some crafts. So I thought, why not do some crafts and then also teach you all how. Because we're stuck inside, I thought I want to draw something outside. And as my class knows, I like to draw abstract things that aren't real. I like to draw squiggles and lines and really colorful things. But I'm still learning on being better at drawing real things, like drawing people and places, things like that. So today we're going to start with something very simple. And I actually got my inspiration from this. I showed my class this in show and tell last week. I painted this a little while ago, but I don't have these paints at home, and I don't have one of these hard canvases. So, but I'm using this picture as my inspiration, and you can see that I did kind of silly colors. I have a green mountain, kind of teal up here, and a purple mountain as well. So you don't have to use specific colors, but this is what we're gonna base it off of. All you need for this is some paper. And I don't have regular paper, so I just found some around the house that I can just use the back scratch paper. So you'll need some paper, maybe a couple pieces if you can find some around the house. You'll need either some colored pencils. Today I'm gonna use crayons, or if you wanted, you could also paint it. I'm not gonna paint it today though. Also, like room 209 knows, I like to have music playing all the time, so I've got a little chill hop in the background. It's quite calming. So I've started doing a couple to practice, and this is the first step. I'll show you how to do it. I stopped with this one though because this paper, I assembled a desk. It felt kind of waxy and strange, so it was really hard. I had to press down my crayon really, really hard to get the colors dark like that. So we're gonna start though by doing the first mountain up on top, and you can see the colors here are a bit darker, a little bit different, and then we'll do the outline of the bottom one. I've never tried to teach people how to do art on a video, so if this takes a long time, I'm sorry, but we are learning how to do things from home together. So I'm gonna take a book. I love this book. Remember, just a scrap piece of paper. So I'm gonna have to move myself. I'm gonna use kind of silly colors. So for the top mountain, I'm gonna use wild strawberry. So the best thing about this is that they don't have to be perfect lines. Yours doesn't have to look like mine at all. They're just kind of jiggity jaggedy, whatever lines that look like a mountain. But I still am gonna have this near me to look at. So I'm gonna start about halfway on my paper. And when you're going up, we know mountains don't have like perfectly straight lines. You can do like a few jig jags, go straight up. There's the peak of the mountain. And now I'm gonna bring it down. Ooh. And then I'm gonna bring like another one coming up like that. Once you do that, you're gonna wanna do the same, trace the same line underneath it. Ooh, can you see this? Okay, there. Trace the same line underneath it. So I'm gonna follow, and the thing is, like, I want this to be a little pointier, and you can just kind of fix that because we're gonna color it in anyways. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start up here, just kind of following. See how the jig jags here and right there? Then I'm gonna bring it down here. Stop there. And I'm gonna do the same with this mountain edge here. That kind of went off the edge of my paper. Okay, there's my first one. I've used red. Now I'm gonna pick a different color. I'm gonna pick a blue. I've always had a hard time saying this color. Cerulean. Okay, now we wanna do our smaller mountain down here. I'm gonna start it just about where this bottom line is. But first what I'm gonna do is bring my mountain down a little bit, some edges, some peaks. Ooh, go up a little more, a couple of valleys. And notice how I'm kind of, it does not matter at all. And then off the page again. Same thing, I'm gonna trace the bottom of these lines here. So now you should have one mountain up here and another down here. Now what you're gonna wanna do is color them in. When you color in these, push down as hard as you can to make the color a bit darker. You want this to be dark and this part to be dark. So don't just really, really quickly go through it, right? Because that's kind of hard to see. So take your time. I would maybe even pause this and push down really, really hard. So that it's nice and colored in. Now, I've already done this step. Where'd it go? On a different one. So you can even see here that these mountains, they don't look the same at all, right? That's okay. Yours will look totally different too. Maybe you want to add a third one. That's up to you. So once you have colored these in really dark, you're going to use the same kind of color. So I'm going to use different shades of green for down on this mountain. You can see I've already started. And then I'm going to use different shades of pink here. So if you only have like 1 or 2 greens or pinks or whatever colors you chose, that's totally fine. Practice with playing with how hard, I keep losing my crayons, with how hard you push down. So what I did first is I took a bit of a darker one even, but I pushed so lightly that you can still see the white through. It's covered, right? But you can still see, but I'm not done yet. Now, if you wanted, this is still the same green. The light is hard. Okay. If you wanted, kind of where these meet right here, you can see maybe when this, like a shadow would be a bit darker. So I might push down a little bit harder here to give it a bit of depth, right? And then kind of bring it up. I might do that again over here. Can you see? I'll use my knee as a stand. I kind of connect them down here, but now that kind of looks scribbly still. I have a few more greens, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go over and start blending these in. Oh, look, this is actually the same color that I used for this. Granny Smith apple. Okay. Kind of starting to blend these colors. You can do lines like that. Because I know in our classroom, in room 209, when we look out the window, we can see a mountain. And mountains aren't like super smooth, are they? There's tons of different plants and trees and things growing on the sides of the mountain. Maybe even some snow. So I'm just gonna I gotta put it down for a second. I need a better setup for this. Okay. Starting to blend in a little bit. I'm gonna even take, so now, this is just regular green. This is the darkest one I've used. Oh no, it's not. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna take yellow green, so it's even a little bit lighter to go over on this corner, because you can still see that needs to be blended in a bit, but I wanna use a different color. Ooh, wow. It's very yellow. That's okay though. So now I'm gonna, you can see here, can we see in this light? I pushed down, see I colored all the way to the edge, but I pushed down a lot harder here, and then I took it out a lot lighter there. I don't like right now how that's looking, so I wanna kind of take that same green and blend it out a little bit. Okay. I'm done with the bottom. Now what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take the same red violet that I used for these mountains here, and I'm gonna first really lightly start from the top. Notice how I'm doing, there we go. I'm going all the way from one side to the other, really, really lightly. Now I kind of have to go down here, careful down there, and then I'm gonna go back really lightly. First one. Now maybe you don't want to use, maybe you're like a pink mountain this Fairweather, you're crazy. You could do 2 green mountains. You could do 2 pink mountains. Think about what you see when you look out and you see mountains. You see different trees, different flowers that are growing, maybe some yellow flowers. So now that I've done, I've used the same 2 colors, or the same 1 color, sorry, for these 2 areas. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some lighter pinks and redishes. What have I got here? Tickle Me Pink and Orchid. I like orchids. I'm gonna now do the same thing, and like right here, push down a little harder maybe. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. Maybe I wanna do like part of the mountain coming off, so I'm gonna do like a squiggle line here. Color that in a little bit more. Now there's another, maybe that's a hiking trail. I have no clue. It's your mountain. You can see I've kind of done it a little harder there. Ooh, now I'm just gonna take regular old pink and color in tons of those white areas. See, by just shading in all of these back and forth, right here could use a little bit more. Now you can see the difference between, oh, this is just one scribble, and I put all these different colors together. I'm gonna take this pink again. I'm gonna push down along the edge right here, kind of following this other line. Can you see? Sorry. Okay, so now I've almost got 2 lines, but then I'm gonna take this same pink. Da, 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 da. Now it's time for the sky. I'm gonna look at this again. Ooh, let's actually see. I kind of did the same colors. Oh, I didn't even realize. They're opposites. So, once you've done your mountains, beautiful. You could even add some flowers. Maybe you do some patches of grass. Ooh, let's add that actually. Where'd that green go? Miss Fairweather loses everything. Okay, we'll find a different one. What have we got now? Forest green, perfect for a mountain. Maybe you want to, can you see? Some grass. Some more bits of grass. Maybe you want to take some yellow. You could even turn this one. into a flower. What color should I make my flower? It's got to be dark enough. Pacific blue. It broke. That's okay, look, I can still use it. Now you got a little flower. Maybe you want to add some water. Okay, now I'm gonna do my sky. I want my sky, I'm gonna kind of copy this because I think this is really pretty. It's kind of like a sunset or a sunrise. I'm gonna do pinks and oranges. First, I'm gonna start though with some red, scarlet, more towards the top. Oop, oop. Okay. I gotta put this down for a second. It's very calming to just sit and color back and forth. So maybe you find a quiet place in your house, or maybe you can learn how to do this and then you wanna teach your little brothers, sisters, cousins, somebody at home. You could hang this in your window. You could, I don't know, anything you want. So I've painted it, or I've colored it a little darker up here. It's kind of a solid line. And then I just really quickly kind of brought it down so that when I start with my next color, it doesn't just look like solid lines. I'm actually not loving how I made it so, ooh, that's a different color. Okay, we've moved on to the next color. That's okay. I'll have to do something about the sun happening here so you can see better. Okay, so now so this is actually the same color as the mountain. So I don't want to use tons of it because I don't want it to look like the mountain, but there. Looks pretty good. Now is where I want to start using oranges. I love orange. And remember, if you only have a few of each color, practice pushing down harder and going lighter, right? You could do all of that down here with the same color. I would use the dark one for here. I used a light one. I probably would have switched it and used the darker one for that part of the mountain. Kind of like on this one. Okay, now I'm gonna take, actually what I wanna do first is add a little bit of, no, I changed my mind. Okay, now I'm gonna take orange, yellow orange. Ooh, look at that. And notice that even when I start, so now I want like this area to be more orange, but I still bring it all the way up to blend all the colors so it doesn't just look like strips of one or two colors. So I kind of press down really hard in the middle where I want the main color to be, right? Like I've done there. But then so that it blends, I like really, really loosely bring it down to the bottom. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Now notice that I'm not going, right? Like you do kind of have to go back and forth. Quite, even though it looks like I'm scribbling, I can't, once we're done, you won't be able to see any, like just areas that are totally white. So look, I'm bringing, it's kind of hard on the edge. I don't want to get marker on my book, but that's okay. Look at, Dr. Seuss does wonky crazy mountains and things as well. I think he's the illustrator as well. I can't remember. Okay, so now that I've done my main bit that I want to be orange, again, I still have this white. Just bring it down a little bit. Again, not pressing down really hard. It's even kind of hard to see. Now that was yellow orange. I even am gonna take just, where is, trying to think of what color. I want like a lighter orange. I guess I could just, oh, look here, it was hiding. Red orange. So if I were to redo this and, oops, look beforehand, I probably would have done the red orange first, but that's okay. Okay, I don't want it to be too dark at the bottom. Don't forget to look, and also then when you're coloring here, and because you press down so hard, you can go in over on that without being able to tell that you went outside the lines. So that's another reason why you want that to be really dark. Now I'm just gonna take plain old yellow and finish off the bottom. I'm pressing down kind of hard because I want that to be really, really bright down there. Ooh, I like that. And there you have a mountain. So remember, step 1, outline, outline, do the bottom, color it in, same with down there. Let's see if you can see. You can't even really see any white, but you can see all these blended colors, right? Whereas when you use paint, you just use your paintbrush if you're painting, and you can just actually start once your paints are still wet, moving them. Oh, I forgot, look, I did some stars. What you could do is sometimes, it's not gonna work. Maybe you could scratch off some of it, or if you want it to look like a night sky, you could do some stars. I don't know if it's a sunrise or a sunset, but there you have it. A very simple, kind of funky mountain. Thanks for watching. Send me any pictures that you do. I miss you all. Stay safe, and I will keep doing some more art projects with you later on. Bye.